It is a challenge to work in a sacred space because sacred spaces are infinite and they contain all of the knowledge, all of the feelings, all of the emotions that are within human beings. So this is a really huge idea and concept to have to engage that. And it was very difficult for me at the beginning of my career to really try to understand and connect the church. You know, when I was young, I was in the Anglican church. My mother, would take me there on Sundays, and it was fantastic. It was just like a dream because it was there were lights and there were candles and I never forgot that feeling. It was very special. And of course, then I got older and I didn't, like many people, didn't go immediately into the church again the same way, but I had those memories very strong. Well, there was a certain moment in my life which I have difficulty describing because it was very emotional. But that was when I lost my mother. And what can I say? I mean, this is one of the great tragedies for all of us when you reach that moment and you realize that your mother, who's the most important person in the family, is gone. And it was really, really difficult. And it took me a long time to recover from that. But when I recovered, it was quite ironic, actually, interesting too, that what I was doing at that time is I was invited by the Getty Research Institute in California, and they were doing a seminar, and the seminar was about the emotions. So I was perfect. and I realized, my God, because it was all about the past, not the present. I had spent my whole life going into the future with my art. And I was one of the people that was one of the first people to work with these new technologies, and eventually up to digital technology, where we are now. So that was that kind of forward momentum. But then when I had that catastrophe, we were at the same time in the Getty looking at old art. And I never was interested in old art as a young artist, never. And all of a sudden, it was there. And then I started to really look at it. So I did an about face. I went backwards. And then I discovered Giotto and all of the great master artists, Raphael, Michelangelo. And I realized, my God, they were just like me because they were all young. We call them old masters. They are not old masters. They are young Turks. They're the young guys, the new guys that were going to change the world, And that's what I realized coming from that tragedy. I was given this incredible gift, of just having the ability now to go forward in time and backward in time. And I've used those things, and I've used Giotto and Raphael, Michelangelo, and all of these artists. And it just expanded my life tremendously. And I was really, really fortunate. I think today we are in a very, very delicate moment because I think right now the world is really accelerated tremendously. And we're all being pushed forward in this constant kind of, river that's just carrying us all away. And I think that kind of energy is actually something that we have to expand and expand it horizontally, you know, and connect it better, much better in our lives right now, and to make it a part of our lives. Because right now, the head, where everybody's talking, all you know, everybody's all in head work. They're all thinking and calculating and doing all of these things, you know. So we have to take the head and calm him down, you know, because he's too fast, he's too sneaky, you know. Everybody's trying to get something, oh, on this person, oh, let's go do that, and you know, no. So just let the head guy stop for a minute, and then we need the heart, you know. And if you notice, I touched the heart not here, but the heart I put down, way down here. That's where the emotions are. So we have to bring the emotions into this intellectual moment, and this one has to come up to meet it, and the one who's talking all the time, blah, 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 all the time, is got to come down. And when you do that, then you're in another place for the heart, which is in the center, where it should be, and that's where it's all in balance. And that's what's not happening today, and that's what I do in my art. And I think that element is really important, that you take the head work, you slow him down because it gets too crazy. This one is shy, so he has to come up. So once we put those together, which would be right here, then we have the balance. And I feel that happening. I can see that in young people too. When I speak to them, when I go to their you know, places, and they you know, invite me to come and talk and speak and stuff. And I'm seeing a lot from this generation now. I think they're really getting it, that they can bring the head and the heart together, and that's when you have the complete human being. I think I feel in a way a kind of continuity, and I don't know why. I've always felt that. You know, I've always felt that what I was doing was always moving in the same direction, but maybe not in a straight line with a lot of curves, you know, to join different things. But in the end, it was always moving with a kind of forward momentum. And that allowed me to think about these things. It's almost like the idea that you could take something that you loved very much, you have it on your shelf, and like a nice bowl, let's say, and then one day you decide for the first time to turn it this way instead of the other way. So you look at it from the other side, and you look at it from the other side. And I think that kind of gives you this kind of perspective that is very, very necessary, because it's not all about just going forward. You have to go, you know, like the Greeks had the idea of the epicycles of the planets. They would be spinning around in the planets, but they weren't just going like this around one time. They would go this way and come back, and this way and come back, this way and come back. So they're going around the same territory, the same ground, but when they come back for the second time, it's a little bit different. So you have this idea of, that's another way to slow things down, so you can absorb them better. And I think that's a wonderful metaphor for a lot of things that are wrong today, and how people are looking at our planet and understanding it and discussing it, and trying to you know, bring it you know, to give it more feelings and emotions, because that's where the big issue is. The biggest connection, as we said, is to the human emotions. Art can save lives. You know, art saves lives. I had a bumper sticker for that on my car once, years ago. Art saves lives. And it's really true, you know? I mean, people need help. People need help. We all need help. Human beings have the most precious, beautiful job in the world. because they have the ability to change their mind. They have the ability to see sorrow, anger, joy, fear, mystery in various orders throughout their whole life. And these are all turning and connecting, moving back and forward. It's a very, very special thing, and at various times people need certain things, you know, and that's why art is here. Artists are the gift givers. I mean, in a way, if you look at human beings, basically, you think about just what the human experience is. You have this idea, it's basically, I understand it, it's my own personal understanding, but I see it as three parts. Okay? So the first, and the first one is actually, there are two, and these are, the first one would be the unborn. These are the people that have not yet come into existence. That's the unborn. And then at this far side are the dead. So the unborn and the dead are infinite. They exist continuously. There's always new birth, new energy coming forward. And there are people who are leaving the world on the other side, on the far side, and they're going to the land of the dead, the ones who have passed on. And in the middle is us. So infinity, and human beings. Human beings are like a movie. Enter stage left, exit stage right. So we have to all be very, very strong and clear that our time is limited. Our time, we're the only ones that are limited. So we have to take care of that. You have one time to go across that beautiful little valley to the other side. So you have to do it right. And the only thing I think we should all ask, and the most important thing for all of us, is you have to leave something behind. Because you can't take it with you to the other side. So you have to leave something behind. And that could be anything. It could be Einstein's equation. It could be your mother teaching you how to pick up the glass when you're a baby so it doesn't fall down on your shirt, you know? And those things are so precious and so beautiful for us. And we're all part of this mystery. The ultimate essence of all of this is a mystery. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we've come from. We don't know the cosmos is vast. And somehow we are in this little planet spinning around. I mean, this is phenomenal. I think about this all the time in my life. I think this is the essence of who we are and what we do. So.